Happy Friday, everybody. I apologize. I was coming from another event, so got caught in the Uber traffic. But hey, it's Friday night, and it's not ladies' night. It's actually men's night. We're going to have two of our legal beagles, two men, on the panel this Friday night. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, welcome to Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, where headlines meet the gavel and the truth is cross-examined. Tonight, we have 5 explosive cases on trial, from rappers entangled in legal brawls to talk show queens fighting for autonomy to music moguls under fire. Tonight's docket: Offset's alleged assault at a dispensary and his financial disputes, while we're going to also be talking to Wendy Williams' battle against her conservatorship, Jay-Z's accuser caught on tape admitting false allegation, and Diddy's legal team, Diddy's legal team is accusing CNN of manipulating assault footage. And Teyana Taylor and Iman, Shumpert, who we've been talking about for quite a while now, finally has finalized their high-profile divorce. That's right, it's messy tonight, it's controversial, and we're diving in head first. So grab your gavel or your cocktail and let's get started, because court is now in session. Joining us tonight, we have, let me see, I got the book here, Shit They Never Taught You in Law School, author Jason Weiss. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Thank you, Your Honor. Excited to be here on Men's Night. So let's get this going, and here we go.
That's right, Friday night, Men's Night. And also joining Jason, humorist at law, Sean Carter. Sean Carter, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Thank you. And everybody, happy Pie Day, everybody. Well, however kind of flavor and variety you like. I know the kind I like right tonight, but go ahead.
What is pie? What is today? It's today Pie Night?
Yes, 3/14, March 3rd, March 14th, 3.14.
It's Pie Night? I don't know what that means.
It's Pie Day.
Pie is that numerical thing we all didn't learn in geometry.
Oh, that type of pie.
That kind of pie. 314, etc.
Oh, God, I'm not.
314159. I don't know the rest.
Oh, shoot.
I'm done. All right, everybody. First up, rapper Offset is back in the spotlight, but for all the wrong reasons. Recently, he was accused of assaulting a security guard at the MedMen LAX dispensary after a dispute over ID presentation. While no charges have been filed yet, the altercation could lead to legal consequences. Additionally, Offset has agreed to settle an $85,000 lawsuit with his former landlord over unpaid rent and damages, all while navigating his public divorce to Cardi B. All right, I'm going to throw to you, Attorney Sean Carter. What is going on here? And from what I understand, he assaulted the security guard who asked for your ID when you come into the dispensary, all right? So if this security guard presses charges, what legal consequences could Offset face?
I mean, he could be charged with simple assault. Probably not going to be a big deal. I'm not sure you want to go chase Offset down for this. Offset does need, it's weird to me because here's the thing is, he went to the MedMen LAX, all right, dispensary, as in right off the airport. Now, I don't know about you, when I fly, I at least like to go check my bags, right? He in the hotel, right? He said, no, we got to get the weed first, all right? Because apparently he, in the 6-hour flight, he didn't have enough. So he's like, look, my weed's wearing off from Miami. I need to get the weed before we even get to the hotel. And he says, I didn't punch the guy. I was trying to get my ID. That's how I had my ID, because I just got off a plane. First of all, the fact that you just got off a plane doesn't mean you got your ID ready. All right. I don't know about you, but I'm not walking around in the airport all the time, my ID, right? You do it in airport security, you put it away in your bag. I don't know. He says a guy, was too rough with him, spit at him. I imagine he meant that, the guy was talking and then they start fighting. And the weird part is he had an entourage, right? But guess what? At MedMen, I got to give you all credit at the dispensary. Y'all don't play. Y'all had security too. All right. You've seen how deep Offset rolls, and they were rolling deeper. All right. So I ain't going to the MedMen. My dispensary doesn't even have, just got a little, 17-year-old white boy. I'm fine. I can't deal with the WWF at my dispensary. That said, we'll see what happens here. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal, but here's the problem Offset really got to worry about is that being divorced or almost divorced from Cardi B really got him offset. In November of last year, he was in Paris fighting people. All right. 2020, he was in Beverly Hills. And by the way, I get why you scrapping in the hood. But how you fighting people?
Why are you gonna scrap in Beverly Hills? That don't even
Beverly Hills. Exactly. You in the nice places. All right. What would be the point of that? So, brother, get your stuff together. All right. And wait until you check in to get your weed.
Well, I don't know.
Have it delivered to your hotel.
I think it's a brilliant idea to have a dispensary near the airport.
It is.
You can't get it before you go, but you can definitely get it when you get off the plane and you're ready to go after that. So I totally get that. Jason, let's go to you real quick. Talk to me about how might settling that landlord lawsuit impact Offset's standing, especially amidst his divorce.
So he should go ahead and settle the landlord dispute, and he did. The terms haven't been released yet, so that just means there's one less thing to fight about, one less thing to draw attention to him. But in the scheme of things, it'll have nothing to do with the divorce, unless he's going to say, well, she was responsible and she should have paid half, and it all came out of my money and all this and all that. But the mere fact that he settled has no bearing on anything in the court of public opinion or the courtroom.
So let me ask you this then, Attorney Carter. We know that he's had a litany of run-ins with people. How does this case affect his other cases? Because he's still litigating some cases. So does this basically paint a picture of him being a hothead and need some type of angry management?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the issue, right? And I can see Cardi B bringing this up. If she makes any claims that he was, physically abusive or that type of thing, it'd certainly be more believable, right?
Gotcha.
By the way, back to the landlord thing. The thing I found interesting is it were $85,000. They didn't just skip out on the rent, but that they were damages to the house. $85,000 of damages. And I read some of these damages. I'm like, how the hell are these people living? All right, permanent stains and scratches on the limestone. They had permanent stains and scratches on the limestone tile floors. I don't even know how you stain limestone, but good luck to you. The rugs, the curtains.
They dropped an iron. Someone dropped an iron or a pot. Something was sitting there for a long period of time that no one cleaned up.
Burn marks on the tables and counters. Like, what are you using? You just using the counter to put out your weed.
They light it and throw it down. Okay, what else?
How you living? So the two of them need to really see somebody. And see,
and not each other.
I don't think so.
Not each other.
Listen, you can't expect people who come out of the ghetto, who all of a sudden gets a ton of money, to know how to behave. They still transferring what they know to their new environment. So they
give me that kind of money, and I'll change real quick. Don't worry.
SL said they all was high.
even the babies.
86 said, yeah, finally caught alive. Oh, thanks. Welcome, Abby NYC.
Abby NYC.
I haven't
smoked weed since the late 90s. Yep.
Miss P said, I'm loving guys tonight. They don't overtalk each other and they try to be the loudest like the ladies do. You're right. Them ladies are some loud ass ladies.
but then we got Attorney Ross who talks like this.
All right, next up, talk show icon Wendy Williams is in the midst of a troubling conservatorship battle. It's so weird. She recently revealed that everything is in storage, hinting at financial struggles and control over her assets. As her health and mental state remain in question, Williams is reportedly fighting for independence, but remains, this is the key word here, but remains under court-appointed guardianship. I'm going to go back to you, Attorney Carter. Why does Wendy need to prove, what does she need to prove to regain control over her finances? And why is she still in this conservatorship if it is as simple as Harvey Levin has said, which is she's being held against her will and not in need?
No. She got to prove she ain't cray-cray. And the videos are going to show she is cray-cray and she's got something going on. And there's just a lot. Look, anybody could say, I'm not crazy, I don't deserve to be here. No problem. We're gonna go ahead and get your rocket ship and send you back to Mars. Thank you so much. Okay. But she could say whatever she wants to whoever she wants. And she even said that she requested an independent study on her psyche and all this and all that. She didn't say the results. I wonder why. And I know she was on somebody's favorite show, The View, today, and I think we actually have a little bit of that segment that we could show.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Wendy, this is Sunny. I have to read this statement because we've referenced your guardian, Sabrina Morrissey. Her lawyer points out that the guardianship was created by a judge who declared you legally incapacitated after a diagnosis of frontotemporal dementia, and says that you have not been kept from your family and that you are receiving excellent medical care. I just need to make that statement. But I have a question that I want to ask you, Wendy, because we've known each other for a long time. You are actually the first person to give me an opportunity on radio. I was your legal eagle on your radio show. So thank you for giving me my start. You're a legendary broadcaster. We know that. You broke the mold. I know you love the work. How do you keep your spirits up when you really are not doing what you love to do?
Let me tell you something, Sonny, and I'm glad that you're talking with me about that. I am a college-educated woman. I'm a global, international person, from radio to television. I've been doing important things all of my life, and these two people don't look like me, they don't dress like me, they don't talk like me, they don't act like me, and I venture to say they will never be me.
Yeah, she needs
help. So you got to remember one thing, right? This all started, as Attorney Carter reminded me before we got on the air tonight, with Wells Fargo. Okay? Mm-hmm. Wells Fargo does something that all banks are supposed to be doing, which is protecting the assets of their account holders.
Right. And we know that there was abuse coming out of her account. Her son was having access on a regular basis, spending hundreds and thousands of dollars, $100,000 on Uber Eats, $125,000 on his birthday party, not to mention his rent and his other extravagant living. Now, these are all documented things. This is an accusation that even Wendy has said occurred. And she has said that it was her son's abuse of the account that triggered the conservatorship.
But again, she was evaluated independently. She was looked at, and they found that this is what they needed to do. So that means it's bias on the judge, bias on the attorney. Mm-hmm. She's in a health facility. Look, if you're in a health facility and they say there's nothing wrong, or she's cured, or she could live on her own, they'll let the court know as well. So there's just a lot of things on this that just, they don't look right. And look, all kidding aside, and we'll be able to see it in another video, which is going to show whenever Attorney Carter says to cue it up. But there's another video, and although she's trying, you could see she's having some cognitive issues. It's not a joking matter.
Right.
Now, the question that someone just posed in here, the son, why can't the family take care of her? Why can't the son take care of her? Why can't the cousins take care of her? Well, everybody's fighting over her because at the end of the day, she comes with a lot of money, a lot of goods, and a lot of things. And she is just, right now, she needs to get her stuff in order, straighten that ship, and then hopefully, God willing, one day, she can take care of herself.
All right, Attorney Carter, what are your thoughts on this?
And I want to sort of take it back from the beginning, right from where Attorney Weiss took it. So the bank says, hey, something's going on here. We need to have a financial guardianship. We just want to watch her money. She can go and do what she does. They bring her for an evaluation in 2023 and determine that she has something called primary progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia. Okay. Now, the thing about those, the FTD or the dementia thing, is that it's not as certain as like Alzheimer's. All right. If a doctor says you have Alzheimer's, you got Alzheimer's.
It's temporary, and it's usually caused from alcohol or drugs.
Right. But this is different, though. The PPA and the FTD
that's
are more
what hers
like
is from.
ADHD. Right. There's a question, there's a possibility they got it wrong the first time.
Hello, sir. Hello. Sorry. Attorney Carter. Hers is caused from excessive drinking and drug use.
Right, but everyone who does excessive drinking and drug use doesn't necessarily count down those conditions. This condition is not as certain, and so you could have a misdiagnosis. So she went back in. Her lawyers went back in last month in February and gave her and it said, "Hey, look, we're doing a new evaluation. We wanted to reevaluate this. We don't think she has it, and they misdiagnosed her the first time. She's fine." We're going to show a video in a minute that shows in the future that she isn't totally fine. All right, you're going to see, you can understand that. Let's take a look at the video.
Hey, Wendy. What happened at the hospital?
We want to talk.
What happened at the hospital? Are you okay?
We want to talk.
Are you okay?
This is my niece, Alex.
Okay. How do you feel about the Free Wendy movement?
How do you feel about it? Fabulous.
Fabulous.
So, our recent events have been unbelievable. Talk about
We came back from dinner, and apparently police were called. But I was told that at some point, police were called because the coterie here was saying allegedly that I took my aunt from this facility and whisked her away without any sort of confirmation or approval. Which according to everything that we have learned in terms of this whole situation, wondering exactly how that correlates with the statements that the guardian has made, that Wendy is able to come and go as she pleases.
Right.
And that there are no family visits that are blocked.
Clearly, they are lying to me when they say I can go out and do what I want to do. This is my niece, Alex. She just flew in from Miami, okay? I just came from the hospital. So we are going out to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate what? I don't know. I'm from the hospital. You know what I'm saying? And of life. Right. And this is what has been done to us.
But we're good.
We're good.
We're back in
I'm
one piece.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good night.
So here's what.
Okay, go ahead.
So here's what I ascertained from this so far. She's in a facility. She's not in the very severe part that she was in before as much. They have her in a situation where she can sometimes leave, but she needs to be able to sign out, and they need to keep track of you, that type of thing. She obviously can still go out to some degree. The question really is, and I think this is a medical question versus a social media question, or even so much a legal question: is she incapacitated crazy or just regular Wendy crazy? All right. And because you can be a little bit off and be free and to be able to make your own bad decisions. I think
you're missing the whole point here. I think you're missing the whole point.
The whole point.
I think this is what it is. I think Wendy, after her divorce, she went to a bad way because of her divorce and the cheating. And it really just kind of like threw her off track. I think she started drinking heavily and whatever recreational stuff that she started doing. Obviously, she started fainting at work. She started being late to work. Things just started going downhill to the point where the production company said, hey, we can't even do a show at the state in which this woman is in. Okay. Do I think it was a crazy state? No. Do I think it was induced by drinking heavily and trying to cope with what was going on in her life and whatever else she turned to? Absolutely, yes, because it manifests through her body. Her legs started doing stuff. She started fainting on the job for dehydration. She showed up incoherent at work a number of times. And I think when you constantly are abusing, right, and you're trying to pretend like you're not, at the level that she was doing it, she was experiencing, what you experience when you are an addict of some sort, right? To the tune that without it being monitored by Wells Fargo, I used to be a private banker. I used to have clients like Wendy Williams. It was my job to monitor those accounts. If I saw excessive abuse, I had to report it, especially if whether it's from the client or not, especially if it's from a non-client, which would be a son or a sibling. I have to report that. And I think when it was reported, they started to uncover stuff. And remember, she's dealing with her addiction, not talking to the bank. She admits that they called her 100 times and she never answered. So what do you do as a banker who's monitoring her account? Money is going out by the hundreds. What do you do? And she's not returning your call. Jason, you've been in these positions. What do? You have to make a call. You have to make a decision. And I think the decision was made due to the heavy indiscretion that the account needs to be held. Meaning we need to freeze the account for right now until we do a thorough investigation.
Because and look, the bank is damned if they do and they're damned if they don't, right?
Because you're going to be responsible for every dollar that goes out that account without your scrutiny to it.
You got it. So the bank had a duty. The bank, look, every time a check in my account is over a certain amount of money, I get a text or an email from the bank. And if I don't say, yes, that charge was okay, or yes, was something okay, they stop it, right? So
they block your account if you don't okay.
You got it. So look, Wells Fargo was going ahead and they saw this coming out. And if Wendy would have had an explanation, or she would have said it's okay, or she would have said, no, it's not okay, or picked up the phone. So, well, I don't think it would have gone much further. But again, there were concerns on the set. There were concerns that she had problems. Now, a lot of the questions in the chat is, well, why did they have to take control of her money, right? Why did they have to appoint a guardian? Why?
Because she was not making sound decisions on her own. And that it's so easy to happen, like especially when it's someone of influence who has a large sum of money. When you see large amounts of money constantly leaving that account and you can't get on the phone with the client to confirm that this is her doing it, you have to freeze the account. After you freeze the account, if you still can't get in contact with her, you have to call a judge. Like it just automatically becomes a legal issue because the bank has a fiduciary responsibility to protect that woman's accounts. So I just want people to understand that part.
But I think part of the problem is in the chat, this name keeps coming up, Matthew Perry, right? Matthew Perry was getting, cocaine, getting other drugs, doing all this. No one was freezing his accounts. Nobody was overseeing him. Nobody was looking over. I agree. But Matthew Perry may still be alive today if they were. And we have to think about that. So look, there's got to be a balance of what do you do to protect the person? Just like we were talking
we also don't know who Matthew Perry's. We don't know who Matthew Perry whose signature signer on his accounts, right?
Right. But no, like
he could have a business manager that signs.
Sure. But this goes back to what we were discussing on Wednesday, having to do with the woman that's trying to petition to get out of court, but she has to live in solitary confinement. Well, the jails are probably going to keep her, so to keep her alive. And here Wendy is facing this extra scrutiny, this extra looking at this, what people are saying is too much to get her healthy, to get her right.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I don't agree with what everyone's saying. SL, Tanya Crowder, if Wendy was white, this would not be a discussion. I personally, after being a private banker to celebrities, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I have sat in so many different meetings, especially because very successful people, and especially celebrities and their kids, and the parents give them access, and the kids are living their best life. It's really all about what rules they break at the bank will trigger X, Y, and Z. It has nothing to do with color in this case, for me, in my experience.
The only color it has to do with is green, right? The money is going out.
I got to be honest. I've worked in these capacities. I've been the only black banker in these roles, and it has absolutely nothing to do with her race.
Well, let's just go. The other thing is, we're still in the middle of the process. So her lawyers in February filed paperwork to say we want to terminate the guardianship. The process going forward here is that they'll then submit a different medical examination that says, hey, she's fine. She doesn't have this. By the way, if she has these symptoms they're talking about, the PPA and the FTD, it's really bad. I mean, that's the kind of thing, there's no reversal. It doesn't get better. You've got at most a 6-year life expectancy. That person would need to be in care. All right, because it's not going to go well. Assuming that she doesn't, though, then the question is, okay, what can happen? The guardian could challenge it and say, no, we're going to bring in a different expert, or the guardian can let it go and say, you know what, fine, let her go. As far as the guardian taking the money, I took a look at it. So far, the guardian has been paid $30,000 out of Wendy's money since 2022.
Yeah,
so
it's been like 3 years. You get no money being a guardian, people, and you don't get to spend the lady's money. You have to get everything approved.
Everything approved by the court. She's only gotten 30 grand approved by the court in that 2-year period, almost 3-year period.
That's the guardian paying her bills.
And their allegations that the judge and the guardian are friends. The judges and the guardians, yes, when they work together, they're always friendly. And a judge is usually going to appoint a guardian that knows what's going on, that knows what the judge wants, that knows this. It has nothing to do with, look, the judge isn't making money. The guardian isn't making money. Wendy's funds are safe and secure. So she needs to do what she can to get herself healthy so she can go out and have whatever doctor she wants that's not paid to say that she's good. Go for it.
And I want to let everyone know this, okay? Wells Fargo wants that woman out of that bank. Trust me. The PR that woman has given Wells Fargo, if they could, they would give her all her money right now and tell her it was a pleasure doing business with you, because they don't look like they are fiduciary, responsible, financially responsible, you know what I mean? This is bad PR for Wells Fargo, especially off of the back of all of their bad press as it relates to Black people. So trust me, Wells Fargo wants this lady out of the conservatorship and wants this lady to take her money and get gone. As long as they're not being charged with any type of bad management, they want her out of that bank. Be clear. Just saying. All right, let's keep it moving, everybody. We spent a lot of time on that. The woman accusing Jay-Z of sexual assault has been caught on tape, admitting that the rapper never raped her, never are her, and that her lawyer, Tony Busby, pushed her to sue. This revelation has sparked debate over the credibility of the accuser and the true motives behind the lawsuit. All right, Jason, this is all yours. Tell me.
The woman who said she was 13 when Sean Jay-Z Carter and Sean Diddy Combs sexually assaulted her after the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards is heard talking to private investigators about her claim and agreeing that Jay-Z did not assault her.
But Jay-Z you're saying he was definitely there? But he had no part in it, or he was just...
He was there. He was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any sexual acts towards you. It was strictly,
The woman is also heard saying her lawyer put her up to suing one of the world's most recognizable stars.
He was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him. With Jay-Z. Busby did? Yeah.
Do you know why?
No.
ABC News exclusively obtained a minute-long excerpt of the recording made days after the woman, identified as Jane Doe, permanently dropped her lawsuit against both Carter and Combs last month.
The people around Mr. Carter wanted to know what happened behind closed doors. And so they asked for her to be interviewed. The interview occurred, and the tape speaks for itself. She says, in no uncertain terms, Mr. Carter did not do this. It is effectively a lie. And the only reason Mr. Carter is even involved in this is because she was pushed to involve him, pushed to include him by a lawyer.
The accuser's lawyer, Tony Busby, called it a blatant lie that he pushed Jane Doe to sue Jay-Z, and he sent us this recording of a phone call with his client.
They say that they have you on tape denying that Jay-Z assaulted you. Is that true?
No.
They don't. I've never said that.
Okay. They also say that you told them, and they have it on tape, that I, Tony Busby, told you to like came up with this plan and told you to say that Jay-Z assaulted you so you would get more money.
No.
They also said that I am Tony Busby, and I don't know what else. But look, Rolling Stone actually found the name of this Jane Doe, and they are not naming this woman. That's what the article says. But they did say that they were able to find several publicly available court documents relating with Jane Doe. And in one case, in a family court, a doctor testified in 2015 that Jane Doe told him years prior she had a history of auditory hallucinations. She told me she had heard voices in the past, voices that other people didn't hear. She also has a large, and this is her lawyer. Her lawyer says that she has a large volume of medical and mental health disorders and was under the supervision of mental health court as recently as August 2024. Okay, so Busby is, I think he look, what he had her say was very self-serving, right? We call that a self-serving affidavit or self-serving testimony. You know, Attorney Carter, even though you talk about your wife and people wearing slips, you think your wife is a young, attractive, beautiful woman, right, Attorney Carter? Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I do.
So,
I do.
See, self-serving, and that's what's going on.
I don't understand what you're saying here. I don't get it. What I see when I listen to that is we talked about the private investigators. We talked about how private investigators can be very intimidating. It appears to me that she felt pressured and nervous, and she changed her story. Changed her story, and then when she talked to Tony Busby, she changed her story back, and then she issued a statement saying that she's not going back on what she said, that she knows what happened, but she's not going to criminalize Jay-Z, which I think, a man that powerful can do things to make people reconsider what their recollection is on something.
But here's the thing. Tony Busby comes out and they asked her about, some of her mental status and what's going on. And he said, I'm not her psychiatrist or her psychologist. I think it's inappropriate to attack her on alleged past mental health issues. That is
we know what that is, Jason. I mean, their job, Jay-Z's lawyers and private investigators' job, is to on a daily basis discredit this woman so that he will come out cleaner on the other side. We know what this is.
Yep.
So even if she had a regular therapist, they would question her mental capacity. So
100%.
I'm not sold on that. Let's get to some of the comments because I do want to address some of them. It's got to be a chef. Al is biased when it comes to Whitney. We get it, Al, that you can't stand her. I don't know where you got the idea that I can't stand her. Why even report on her anymore? First of all, Whitney dragging me for years on end is the business. So I it's not like I don't like her. I just, didn't like how she reported on me, but that doesn't have anything to do with my support of her as a Black woman in entertainment doing something that people of color have never done before. So don't think that I'm biased toward her. That's definitely not the case. I think I've been reporting the facts as it relates to my interaction with managing celebrities, which I did for a long time at the bank. So,
and at the end of the day, everybody on this show and everybody around wants her to be able to live a healthy and happy life. That's what everybody wants in their own way. People show it differently. That's all I'll say.
So let's go back to you, Attorney Carter, because this is what I want to know about the Jay-Z thing. I just don't get how. Well, I clearly see in the press how they are positioning Jay-Z, right? They have to clear Jay-Z's name at all costs. They have to clear Jay-Z's name.
The press?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying the lawyers, everything that they leak, all these statements that they get are done to make sure that the people in public opinion can verify that Jay-Z was not a part of this sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that they report, everything that the private investigators go out to do has to fall in line with that right there. Where everything that they bring back, they've got to show to the people that he was not a part of this incident.
Right.
Okay. So my question to you is, if you were a lawyer that was defending Jane Doe, how good of a job are they doing?
So you're saying how good of a job is Busby doing?
No, if you're defending Jane Doe, right? If you're defending Jane Doe, if you're representing Jane Doe, right?
Well, that's Busby.
That's Busby.
Right. How good is Jay-Z's lawyers doing of proving to the public that he did not do it?
I'm sorry. Anyway, Jay-Z's lawyers are doing a great job, but here's the thing is, it's not because they're doing some magic. The brother didn't do it. She said he didn't do it. I don't know how many times we have to have this. We don't have any corroborating evidence. We have her father saying he didn't do it. We have her saying he didn't do it. You need Jesus to say he didn't do it. The brother didn't do it.
We just heard a recording where she said she didn't say that. That's
no,
all.
But she said, but wait a minute. So let me get it straight. She has a recording with Busby after she does the other one.
Right.
And he says to her, girl,
Attorney Carter, the lawsuit would not be filed if she didn't say that he did it. She clearly asserted that he did it, right? Now, whether we believe her or not, it's a different story, right? So what Jay-Z's team has done a good job of is discrediting the fact that she has said that he did it.
Because he didn't do it. If there's no reason for her, there's no rational reason for her to file a lawsuit saying he did it and then to tell anyone that he didn't do it. It's called in the law this is
perjury.
Well, and it's also called an admission against interest. There's no reason for her to ever say that he didn't do it if she's trying to get her money. All right. If she says that she didn't do it, then it's very likely that if she makes an admission against her own interest, then it's very likely true that you did that.
Okay, so she did it when she talked to Jay-Z's private investigators, but she didn't do it when she talked to her lawyer.
Right, because her lawyer called her and said, "Hey, I'm going to record you right now, and if you say that he didn't do it, you and I are both going to jail. I'm going to lose my license. I'm going to lose $100 million. Now let's do the recording." What is she going to say? That he's suing them, right? He's suing them for defamation. This is their defense. All right. There's no way in the world he would have released a recording when she said anything otherwise. But the bottom line is simply this: is that I don't even know if he actually say he didn't do it. I'm gonna say that there's no credible evidence that he did, and the fact that we have an admission by her saying that they made the whole thing up. I don't think they made it up. Here's what seems to me happened. Originally, the lawsuit was filed against Diddy. Diddy is definitely on the table. Could have done anything. Okay. And then he comes to Jay-Z a little later and says, "Hey, I hear you were there, and I want to sue, and we're going to sue you unless you give me money." Jay-Z said, "I'm not giving you any damn money. Sue me." And then they add him to the complaint. Okay, that sounds like the more logical explanation of what happened here. It seems like it fits with all the facts that we have. And that recording is interesting because usually you can't get that kind of thing admitted in the court.
Yep.
All right. It's I was saying hearsay before. Hearsay is a rule that basically says, look, if I say to you, okay, if I go to court and say, "Hey, I know that Tommy stole the cookies because Timmy told me that Tommy stole them," they'll say, "No, we don't do gossip here. You bring Timmy here to tell me the information."
Yep.
So normally you couldn't use something like that. You have to testify in court, but you can use a situation where if you have a recording of Timmy saying he did it, you can admit that. And so she's got a problem where they can literally admit this tape and say, "How do you say that you say he did it if you just told these people that you didn't do it?" Now you've got perjury, you've got issues, you can go to jail in addition to losing all your money. And the bottom line is simply this: is that I shouldn't say that Jay-Z didn't do it. We should simply say this, though, is that he looks this is very good evidence for him in the case. And I don't even know, I don't know how intimidating this woman and man were. Maybe she could argue they had a gun to her head, but if they just came and talked to her, there was no reason for her to tell them that she's been lying this whole time.
I'm still trying to figure out why Busby has all of these cases that basically, after we dig into them, are made up. How did he get to this level with the cases if everybody that is filing the cases with him are made up?
Well, I don't think they're all made. I don't think they're all made up. I just think, if anything, they were possibly exaggerated to, shoot for the stars and land on the sun or land on the moon type thing, right? But I think what Busby didn't take into account is he could do what he wants to do with Diddy, but that's not going to work with Jay-Z's team. And that's not going to work with other people. Look, Jay-Z and Beyonce are probably, top 5 most powerful people out there, and definitely number 1 powerful couple. You don't mess with them. And look, if Jay-Z had somebody go to this woman and quote unquote intimidate her because they asked her tough questions, that's what this is all about. And this woman backtracking, look, the reason that it was leaked that she has mental health issues is so that when Jay-Z goes after her and does all this, the case will be dropped due to her mental incapacity or something along those lines. So she's going to get away from this with nobody's ever going to know who she is, no charges, no nothing. And Busby's got some problems.
All right. I get it. All right, let's keep it moving. Diddy's legal team is going after CNN, claiming that the network edited and manipulated footage of an alleged assault on Cassie Ventura. The video, which allegedly shows Diddy attacking Cassie, has fueled public outrage, but his lawyers argued that the footage is misleading. All right, let's go back to you, Jason. Talk to me about how are they arguing this? And Bailiff, do we have footage of something? Okay, so how is that misleading?
So I think what they're saying with regard to the video is, you see things that it's sped up. It could have been altered. It could have been doctored. And so his whole story is this, that there was one copy of the tape. CNN got the tape, recorded the tape, edited the tape, destroyed the original. That's what he is saying. And I know Attorney Carter has a bunch that he wants to say about this because and I don't want to steal that quote from him. So you say it. You got it.
I forgot the quote now, but here's the thing is that
running down the hall, Monty Python.
More like Benny Hill, right? It's better, right? And here's why I asked the same question. I was like, well, why does it matter? Right? Why does it matter if it's fast or slow? And the answer is that he's going to argue that this makes it look worse. The speed in which you hit someone. Think about it. If I do this, right, it's a much different than if I do that, right?
Well, that's a kick. That's a drag. That's a punch. I don't care.
And here's what we're going to argue. Even if they could slow it down, it would be bad, right? No doubt. By the way, we know how bad it is because Diddy knows how bad it is. Remember Diddy?
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace.
Did God give him the mercy and grace he asked for? I don't think he did.
Hold on, let me ask you this. Could Diddy sue CNN if they did alter the tape?
Sure. I mean, I don't, Your Honor. Anybody could sue anything that they want. They could say that they want to sue you because you have long hair today, and on Wednesday it was up. Somebody could sue for that. So there's no stopping that. Will he win against CNN? I don't think so, unless they completely and totally doctored that tape and made it up and did all of this. But I don't think he wins.
No, what he's trying to do, remember, this is coming up because his lawyers have filed a declaration saying they don't want this admitted in his criminal trial.
Right.
And here's the strategy behind it. You can totally understand this. Regardless of his other crimes, all right, if you show a video of the jury, that video,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap, right? Everybody in the comments, every one of us was disgusted. Even Diddy was disgusted when he saw the video, all right? Everybody, that's a wrap. And so they're trying to do anything they can. Now, I think chances are excellent.
Video taken out of Discovery.
Absolutely, trying to get it out. And I think, CNN, in their defense, probably got it that way. I don't know how you do all of that surveillance video, but I imagine that they don't shoot it in the highest resolution. They probably, end up kind of speed up the frame because most of that video, remember, most of the video in the hallway is going to be empty. So there's no reason they'd be keeping that in HD for an empty hallway most of the time.
Well, remember, he purchased, no. Diddy purchased the video when it happened. Of course, he knows what to do. He called security and he purchased the video.
We know that.
And he
we purchased it. Allegedly, he purchased it. That's what we
because
know.
CNN says they got it from the hotel.
Right. So maybe they did, but he purchased the video allegedly from the hotel, right? Algoritmers jump in. I'm pretty sure this is a known thing, right? Now, this is a question. Who did you purchase it from, and why would you not think that they would not keep a copy of it? Because that clearly is assault, right? And so they have to watch their back for liability, right? For liability purposes, for the safety of that young lady who was there as a guest. So
not if I'm the security director. I could care less as long as I'm getting my $100,000
you get your money.
to sell that tape. I'm out.
I think we know how much he paid for the tape. I think it was $50,000 or something allegedly. Yeah. So of course there's another copy out there. Of course there's another copy, and I wouldn't doubt it that a CNN reporter didn't purchase the second copy.
For $59.99, Attorney Carter will sell you a copy of the tape too.
If that's the case, though, that might be bad for the prosecution, because if there is a second tape, they can then prove that, look, this is different than the other one. Now, here's the thing: is they would say we've got
all the same. They show the same thing.
Well, here's the thing, but the speed matters. All right, the speed matters in to the extent that what looks like don't get me wrong. In that case, it looks bad, but if the speed matters, like I said, this, all right, doing this and that are way different things as far as force, impact, right, the viciousness of it, etc. And so it does matter. But here's the problem: is if Diddy said, "Hey, you're wrong. You edited that tape. Throw that out because I have this original tape," then the judge will say, "Well, thank you. Let me grab that original tape and let's show that to the jury." And you screwed either way. So they're not going to be able to prove that we have a better tape of me beating her. That's not going to work, right? They're going to have to actually say that this was so altered that we can't believe any part of it. Therefore, it must be made up.
No,
right?
I'm not gonna
Your Honor, that's not clear. That's not clear enough, Your Honor. Let me go ahead and show you a clearer video of me beating the crap out of her in the hall.
Well, I do know this. I think it's smart on Diddy's lawyer's side to attack the tape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And to try to do anything necessary to not show that tape, because he knows that if that tape is shown to a jury, we know where the jury's decisions are going to falter, right? We know that the jury is going to be like, oh my God, this is horrible because America did it.
Right.
Like in the court of public opinion, Diddy, after watching that tape, is guilty. So this is going to be interesting. All right, everybody. Let's hit that like button before we go into our last story tonight. Also, be sure to hit that share button if invite some friends over to watch the show. Also, turn on your notifications. And as always, thank you for jumping down into the chat. Oh my goodness, one of my favorite couples, Teyana Taylor and former NBA star Iman Shumpert, have officially reached a divorce settlement. The settlement reportedly divides assets and finalizes custody agreements, though details remain private. Taylor, known for her music and acting career, is now focused on moving forward as a single mother. All right, we're going to go back to you, Attorney Carter. Tell me what's going on here, and were the assets divided equally, or were they done fairly, or what are your thoughts with this?
That was my first question as well. All right. So let's be clear. All right. Teyana Taylor walks away with 4 luxury homes valued at $10 million plus. Some high-end vehicles, a Maybach, a Sprinter, a whole tour bus. I'm assuming that she went on the tour bus, because I don't know why Imani has a tour bus, but full ownership of her business, which is great. A one-time 7-figure payment, at least $1 million, but she only gets $8,000 a month, all right, in spousal support, which is really low in that context. $100,000 a year.
Can I ask a question really quick?
I'm sorry, child support.
Hold on, please. Let me ask a question, please. So, does that mean he makes more money than her?
Might have more money. I think currently she makes more money. She has a career going on, but he made during his career, I looked at it, $48 million when he was playing basketball.
Wow. Okay.
And for better or worse, he was actually known in the league to be really cheap. So he, unlike most of these fools, saved all of his money. All right. So he actually has some of it left. And really, this is the lesson, I think, for all of us to understand here. All right. I know Jason's going to get a prenup, but I think the bottom line is simply this, is that you can't be rich and get married. All right. Because if my wife could get 4 luxury homes and leave me, she'd have been gone a long time ago. All right. The only reason my wife is still with me now is because she got to go live with her mama if she leaves. All right. We both got to go live with our mamas. All right. We got a nice little suburban, all right, gated community house now, but we won't have that. All right. If we had to have 2, all right, we're going to have to go live with our mama. So it keeps our stuff together. All right. But if you get rich, 4 homes, I would leave anybody to get 4 homes, right?
And we don't know what kind of mortgages are on those homes. We just know they're worth $10 million.
Right. True. So we don't know. I just want to know, how do you decide? So clearly he's making money because he has to pay child support, right?
Child support, right?
Or do you have to pay child support regardless? No, that's not how it works.
If you're not making any money.
No, if you're not making any money, you don't pay child support. And if you're making less than your wife, you don't pay child support.
Well, you would still.
Depends on. Well, it also depends on. And it also depends on what where the kids are going. Because if the kids are with her 5 days a week, then yeah, he's going to have to pay some child support. Yeah. So.
Okay. Wow.
Now, I did my research and try to figure out, where's Shumpert getting this money?
Who's really good because he hasn't been in the league for at least 2 years.
He hadn't been in the league for a while. And I looked at his last few years. He made only $169,000. All right, his last year in the league when he was 2020. So he wasn't making a lot of money at the end, but he's really good with the money. He just made $1 million flipping a house last year in a couple years ago in LA. So he's on top of his game. I'm impressed with the brother. Now I thought was interesting is she made a statement to make sure, and this is my favorite part, in which she said, "Hey, I got all this money, and I just want to make sure, all right, that we understand that that cheating, all right, was not, or infidelity was not the cause of our breakup."
Yeah, I remember that. That's because they had an open relationship, right?
Well, I wasn't that open because she had said in the divorce filings, he cheated on me when I was pregnant, etc. So she was mad about the cheating then, but she's not so mad now.
Didn't they also talk about they invited other people into the bedroom? I think they were very open about, I think they were very open about their sexuality and
all right, well, you can give it.
She got a body for God. Let's see that picture one more time, Bailiff. Abby NYC, the MM family says she's gay. Sir Benjamin said gorgeous. I look at her body. Afsha Singh says $90,000 a year isn't that bad for child support for a multimillionaire. Lee Y Coyote says, "Child, look at that figure. Why cheat on her?" Yeah, you're right. Let's see who else. What other comments do we have? Ed Sean, my man hides from me, said I'm too honest. Brenda O said that means she had a very good attorney and they both were reasonable and wanted to be done. Good for them. Yeah, I'm glad that they decide to settle it. All right, everybody, this is a part of the show that we go to you as well as the lawyers and get a verdict for the stories that we've covered tonight. That we had some hot topics to hear. Offset. Is Offset guilty or not guilty of beating up that security guard? Attorney Weiss, what say you?
Guilty.
Attorney Carter?
Offset's guilty of not doing what everybody in LA does. We just have Uber weed come to your house. You had to come to the hotel and they could have brought you your own weed. You know, you can actually Uber the weed to you. All right. You have no reason to be in that raggedy dispensary. All right. This is what you get.
All right. Attorney Weiss?
Guilty.
Guilty. All right, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in the court of public opinion. We're going to find Offset guilty. Guilty of putting your paws on somebody you shouldn't because they wouldn't let you into the dispensary without your ID. Next up is Wendy Williams Conservator guilty or not guilty of stealing that lady money? Attorney Weiss, what say you?
Look, I don't think the conservator is guilty of stealing the money because, like we said, she's made $30,000 over the course of 2 years worth of work. I do think that Wendy should get an independent examination, and let's see what's going on.
All right, Attorney Carter.
I'm gonna give you a surprising thing here. I've switched to Free Wendy. I think that the conservator, the guardian, we'll tell. Here's how we know if the guardian is guilty. They're going to go to a hearing, and the guardian can say, "Hey, let her go," or can say, "No, we want to keep the conservatorship." Normally, a guardian really wouldn't care, but in New York, you actually get paid a percentage, or you get paid depending upon how wealthy the person you're guarding is. So this is one of the best clients a guardian, public court-appointed guardian, would ever get. And so there is some incentive to want to keep some of the money. I'm not saying she's been stealing the money so far, but this is a good guardian client to get. This is one of the better ones to get. And I really think from seeing what I've seen from Wendy is that she's crazy, but just normal crazy. And let her go be crazy like everybody else. But she seems, I let her go.
All right, I'm Al.
Let her just be walking up the streets of Manhattan like everyone else.
We're going to find Wendy. We're going to find her conservator not guilty, and we'll see what the report says after her psych evaluation.
There you go.
Hopefully she's doing better, and hopefully Wendy will be freed. All right, next up is Jay-Z's accuser guilty or not guilty of lying on Jay-Z? Attorney Weiss, what say you?
I think she is guilty of having some mental health issues and that she was easily persuaded multiple times.
Okay. Attorney Carter?
Well, that's diplomatic. She lying, y'all. I've been telling you from the beginning she was lying. I don't even believe that was her real name. I don't believe she's a real plaintiff. All right?
You're right, Attorney Carter. Her name is not Jane Doe. You are correct.
No. Her name is she probably Wendy Williams. I don't even know. All right.
That's what I think. That's what I think. I think it's Wendy Williams.
I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in the court of public opinion. We're gonna find the accuser guilty of not knowing what the hell went on. Okay, that's what she's guilty of.
Take it.
1 minute she say he's there and he did it. 1 minute she say he's there but he didn't do it. I think I need for her to get her story together. And on top of that, I need the legal system to do a better job of screening people just filing false ass claims, because this is getting ridiculous now. Because every person that has come forward by Busby has seemingly been something that feels made up. So Busby needs to do better. All right, next up, Diddy's lawyers accuse CNN of manipulating Cassie's videotape. Is CNN guilty or not guilty? Attorney Carter?
I don't see any reason why they would. There's a huge defamation case if it can be proven. If they CGI'd this whole thing and he didn't do any part of it, then they would be losing all of CNN, which is worth only about $38 anyway. And the fact that, by the way, if that was the case, Diddy wouldn't have been on there hollering and crying about a made-up tape. So whatever alterations they made were minor, but they might get the video thrown out though.
All right, Weiss, is he guilty? Is CNN guilty or not guilty?
I'm going to say CNN is not guilty based on what Diddy did afterwards. Basically, if there were no video or he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing or wasn't as bad, he wouldn't have had to take that to social media. Him taking it to social media enforced the fact that happened.
All right, I'm Alan. I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, and we're going to find CNN not guilty of manipulating anything. It's quite clear what he did. I don't care if you speed it up or slow it down. It's all the same thing. It's abuse, and that's not even the real abuse that the young lady went through. That was just one of the million nights of the 5+ years that she was with him. Last up, Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert. Well, we know that this is the divorce. This is the divorce, and they settled it well. I'm very proud of them. So there's no reason to find either of them guilty or not guilty. We love them both, and we wish them the best. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this session of Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, we've transversed a landscape where fame intersects with legal and personal challenges. We've examined Offset's recent altercations and his financial disputes, highlighting the complexities that accompany public scrutiny. Wendy Williams' conservatorship battle sheds light on the delicate balance between personal autonomy and protective services for no oversight. The revelations in Jay-Z's case underscored a profound impact of credibility in legal proceedings, while Diddy's confrontation with media representatives prompts us to consider the power dynamics between celebrities and the press. Finally, the dissolution of Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert's marriage offers insight into the personal trials faced by public figures, but who actually figure out how to do it right. As we adjourn, let's reflect on broader implication of these narratives, recognizing that behind the headlines are individuals navigating these intricate dance between public perception and personal reality. Thank you for watching us Friday night. Men's Night in Court is now adjourned.
Happy Pie Night, everybody. I'm going to go get me a slice right now.